It's
What?
tea o'clock early.
Oh, it's tea. There's not even a martini. It's just tea.
It's just tea.
Don't spill the tea. Welcome to the production meeting. I'm Rick. I'm producer of this project. This is Cami. She's the showrunner and the talent of this project. The idea behind Mildly Interesting People production meeting is really just to give you a look behind the scenes, kind of let you in on some of the stuff we're trying, really expose you to either where the magic is made or where the sausage is made, depending on your preferences. So,
Magic. I like the magic.
Of course. So the agenda runs like this. We talk a little bit about stuff and then, just kind of shoot the shit at the beginning. And then we go into test driving mildly interesting questions. If you're not familiar with that part of the show, it's really just lightning round questions that we ask guests to answer. And we're test driving new questions by Cami asking me questions and then me asking Cami questions. So
kind of like torturing. We're torturing one another with questions.
Yeah, it's great.
Fantastic.
So if you like any of those questions or you're like, hey, I have a question I'd like to submit, please feel free. We would love to hear them. The only challenge is we don't reveal the questions to one another until we actually ask them. So if you'd like to submit a question, please DM Cami on our Instagram account or something like that so that I don't see the question. That's the important part.
Are you accepting questions yet?
I'm not. No, I still have a huge list of questions to get through. So Cami is accepting questions. I am not yet, but who knows? Maybe someday soon. So mildly interesting questions. We'll go through that. We might talk about like what we're watching. If there's something, we've been talking about Sila the past couple times, there may be something else we want to talk about there. Then we'll get into stats. So give you an idea, give you an inside look at what the stats are like and what we're experiencing as people trying to build this channel and engagement with you. And then we're out. That's about it. That's the production meeting. It should be fairly quick. We're glad you're here. This is your first time at the production meeting. Welcome.
Welcome.
You're now officially part of the production crew. If you'd like a sticker to prove you're part of the production crew, there's a link down below if you're watching on YouTube. There's also a link down below if you're listening to the podcast. It's probably just a little more difficult to find. So we're glad you're here. We're looking forward to your feedback, and please don't be shy with the comments. If you like what's happening and you're like, I want to be part of the production crew more often, then you should probably hit subscribe. And so we can let you know when the next production meeting is. They're every Tuesday, just so you know.
For you, cool. for you, every Tuesday.
For you. For us, it's very early in the morning. Anything else before we get going, Cami?
No.
Do you have production notes for the production meeting later?
I don't have any production notes, but I do have I'm in charge of one stat, and I have my one stat ready.
Cool. You can always bring production notes as well, production crew. Just leave them in the comments below, and we'll cover them at the next production meeting because the agenda is set. We run a tight ship. We're not changing the agenda today. Plus, we cannot see or hear you. So really the only way to communicate with us is through those comments.
Can I... I'll just...
What? Oh, are you making a note?
I am.
No? Thank you for sticking with the agenda.
You're welcome.
Rather than derailing our meeting. Okay, let's get going with mildly interesting questions. The beta test of mildly interesting questions, if you will. The concept here, lightning round. Cami will ask me 5 questions. I will try and respond as quickly as I can. Sometimes there'll be some additional exposition, and then tables are turned. I ask Cami 5 questions. She tries to respond as quickly as she can. If you don't like watching them in the long format, we cut them up as shorts and release them on the weekends. So you can always come back and see all the questions and answers in less than a minute because we understand you're busy. You got other production meetings to get to.
Without all the exposition too, so that's really nice.
Yeah, it's just boom, boom, boom. It's actually lightning round kind of level. stuff. Okay. So that's that. I've said my piece. I've taken control of the meeting as the producer, and now I am prepared to subject myself to questioning.
Excellent. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
As I'll ever be.
All right. The first question, production crew question from Mahesh.
Hey.
It's a follow-up to one of his previous questions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Follow-up. Why did your mom go to Antarctica?
Huh. My mom likes to travel. She had the opportunity to go to Antarctica, so she went to Antarctica. She's been to every continent now. I think that was the last continent she had to check off her list. I believe she's been everywhere else. So that's just her. She really
traveler.
enjoys traveling. Like she was she taught for the U.S. military system so that she would have the opportunity to kind of travel around and do that. And so that's something that's always been important to her. And she went to Antarctica to see the penguins and things.
Penguins?
And it was cold. Shocker.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. It's cold down there.
Antarctica's cold?
So far, we'll see.
I thought they were just lying to keep us from moving there.
Yeah. No, there's actually an alien spaceship underneath there, I think. That's the whole thing. That's actually the propulsion system for the Earth is housed. We're just a big Death Star rocketing through the stratosphere. Stratosphere. I sincerely hope we're not rocketing through the stratosphere.
I'm going to bring that up with Brian David Johnson later. That's actually how we're propelled through space. I'm sure he'll know if that's true.
He's from the future.
He's our resident futurist.
He is. Yes, it's true.
Okay. Which Lord of the Rings movie is the best Lord of the Rings movie?
Return of the King.
Do you want to say why?
I love that there's like 5 hours of battle scenes in that 3-hour movie. What I don't like about it is the 12 different endings.
To be fair, I think there's only like 6.
So you say.
There are so many endings to that movie. There are so many times when you're like, yeah, this is over. Yep. Well done.
And
okay,
usually,
wrap it up.
Yeah. And usually I would be a fan of the second in the trilogy. By and large, the second movie of a trilogy is often my favorite, except for the case of Lord of the Rings and Indiana Jones.
We'll get into Indiana Jones another day.
Oh, cool.
You love to cook, and you do it a lot.
True.
What is your favorite thing to make?
I like trying to make things that I haven't made before more than I like making the same thing over and over again. And as Cami can attest, even if it's something I've made over and over again, it's never the same twice. So, yeah, I like it. I like trying new things, especially if I've had them before and I don't have to look at a recipe, but I could kind of guess. Or if I know somebody likes a dish that I've never had before and I can kind of guess, like chilaquiles, like I never really ate those. And I'm like, I think I know what's in this thing. And so I kind of made them and they were okay. They weren't chilaquiles, but they were still good.
They were really good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like chilaquiles, in case y'all didn't pick up on that. Wow. So I used to think of my dietary requirements as a hindrance to your creative exploration in the kitchen. And now I'm kind of thinking it just gives you...
It's just a skunk works in there. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm just making stuff and it better taste good.
Okay. Excellent. Next question.
Yes.
I feel like I've really gone easy on you this week. And
I think I went a little easy on you this week too. I think it's probably had some really deep questions the last time around.
Yeah. Who's the best James Bond?
Actor?
Yes.
Okay.
Which actor is the best James Bond?
Yeah. I was just like, because they're never mind. Yes. The best James Bond. It's a really tough one.
It is.
I mean, Sean Connery set the standard, and then Roger Moore was the first James Bond that I encountered. I think.
So he's your James Bond, but would you? No.
I guess. I mean, I've seen his movies the most because, as we've talked about time and time again, I grew up on an army base, and you could go to the movies for like 25 cents. And so we would go see whatever movie was in the theater like 25 times. And just me and my friends. I didn't force my parents to do that. But so the Roger Moore series, especially like Moonraker, that are like that level, that I've seen those. I can almost quote those verbatim. But Pierce Brosnan was the first one where I was like, oh, that guy's a James Bond. He needs to be James Bond. Like he's definitely got that je ne sais quoi to be a James Bond. But
Really
I will say, and I can guarantee it's not Timothy Dalton.
No.
That's all. That's the only way I can answer it. And sorry, Timothy, I know you were kind of thrown into that role, and it was supposed to be Pierce Brosnan, but Remington Steele, they were being assholes about it. So, but I will say this: Daniel Craig is closest to the written character. Like the character that Ian Fleming wrote is Daniel Craig, and he did an exceptionally good job. I didn't think I was going to like him, but I really did.
No, we had a very intense conversation when he was cast.
Yeah. I was really hoping Idris Elba would be a James Bond at some point. I was really looking forward to that. But yeah, I think apart from Timothy Dalton, they all have kind of redeeming qualities to me.
But you have to tell me which one is the best movie Bond. So we can discount Daniel Craig. We can say honorable mention, Daniel Craig is the best Bond as the character was originally written.
Yeah.
In the books. Yeah.
Well, see.
And I agree with that statement. You have to pick one.
Then it's got to be Sean Connery, because he's the most entertaining one to watch time and time again. And the gadgets seemed the most ridiculous at that point in time. Like all the other gadgets seemed kind of like, oh, someone actually thought this through. Right. And like that Aston Martin where they're like, oh, it's got oil slicks and machine guns and it's got a bullet shield in the back and an ejection seat. So like, come on. Yeah. So yeah, Sean Connery. I have to go with.
Excellent. And the last question for the day in our Why Does Rick Hate series?
My favorite. I hate many things.
Why do you hate strawberries?
They're not a berry. So that's just they're portraying a falsehood, and they've never corrected it. So I had strawberries when I was a kid. Like we used to grow them because once we moved to the high desert, it was really good environment for strawberries. So we had tons of strawberries there. But I've just never really liked them. It's like a consistency thing. And then they're either too bitter or they're too sweet. And then they go bad really quickly. They're just like, they're high maintenance food. And I don't like their high maintenance foodiness. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you.
I am happy to cook strawberries. I've made like spaghetti sauce out of strawberries. Like I've done all kinds of random, like I will use strawberries if someone likes them, but I'm just not a fan.
Maybe for my birthday next year, you can make me a gluten-free strawberry shortcake.
Cool. I'm not great at baking, but we'll figure it out. So you now have your,
I have my optional cat.
Your support cat in your lap as you prepare to do your mildly interesting questions. So
let's do it. Let's get this
over
over
ready?
With.
Okay.
Yes.
Hopefully they're easier this week. I was a little difficult, untoward, if you will, with questions last week. So I kind of made them easy this week out of respect for Cami, having to go on a trip and deal with other things and the heat, and there's just a lot going on, folks. Just
You have people
It's a
coming
lot.
over.
There's a lot. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay, I am ready.
Okay.
I think.
Which Monopoly piece would you fight for?
Mm, none of them. But if I have to pick one, like, I have to fight for it?
Yeah, it has to be your favorite Monopoly piece.
The shoe?
The shoe, the running shoe.
It's a running shoe? I thought it was a
Mm-hmm.
boot. This is how
No.
long since. So, to be fair, last time I played Monopoly, it was the My Little Pony Monopoly version, which is way
Oh,
better.
what are the pieces in that Monopoly?
I can't remember all the pieces, but I always fight for the white unicorn with the purple mane.
No, that's a good answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go with that.
Cool. Uh, sorry.
It's okay.
What is one important thing that living through a global pandemic taught you?
I really like being home.
Cool. You didn't have to go anywhere before the pandemic.
I traveled for work a lot.
That's true. Yeah, and still went to the store and things.
I did. I went to the store. Rick is not, even before pandemic, Rick is not a go into stores kind of person.
Not my thing.
It's not a thing that he
I
does.
like farmers markets and those kind of. I just am not a store. There are
Our
people.
local farmers market is
They're
opening soon. I'm so
close. Yeah,
excited.
people
Um,
near you
but
and
yeah,
things.
we do almost exclusively get our groceries delivered now.
Uh-huh. So that was your one thing that you like
Yeah, I
being
like being
home.
home.
Okay, that's a good learning. What is the best donut or breakfast pastry? Regardless of whether you can get it gluten free or not. Like, if you could have one pastry or donut and it would be gluten free, what would you choose?
A lemon cream filled or a lemon jelly donut
Like a
with the
Bismarck,
I don't know, they're like round, and the lemon ones always have powdered sugar on top, and the inside is like a lemon filling.
like jelly donut, like that. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
good
That
answer.
being said, I didn't know about maple bars. I mean, I knew they existed, but I didn't know I liked them until much later in my life. And maple bar is my easy second choice, and thankfully also a donut that I can get gluten free.
Yes, at New Cascadia.
New Cascadia Bakery, dedicated gluten free. They also have a
Hmm.
lot of plant based options for those of you who might need that,
It's if you're here in Portland, it's worth a try. Even if you're not gluten free, I like most all of their stuff.
including their pizza dough.
Yes, indeed. Okay. I have the why do you hate this kind of thing. Cami gets the what's the deal with. It's a very kind of Seinfeld-esque approach to question and answer. What's the deal with black licorice?
I don't like the way it tastes.
is, is that it?
It just
But you like
tastes so.
fennel.
I love fennel. I
So
love
why don't you like
fennel.
black licorice?
It's the sweetness of it, maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
It. One time when I was young and camping, Jägermeister is like black licorice flavored, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Jägermeister is very much black licorice flavored.
I was camping with a bunch of friends, and I drank way too much Jägermeister. Now, to be fair, I didn't like the Jägermeister, but it's what we had to drink. And I would argue that any amount of Jägermeister is too much Jägermeister for me. But
Or
I
anyone.
I drank more Jägermeister than one should have and was then vomiting off of a cliff,
Hmm.
which was frightening. And anytime I taste I hated black licorice before that, but
Yep.
now anytime I smell black licorice, not anise or fennel, which is what that is derived from, I believe,
Right. Right.
it makes me think of vomiting off the side of Mount Hebo.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, I no, I don't even need to explore whether I'm interested in liking this.
Huh.
So
Cool.
I had a double down on that. I didn't like it
Good
before, and then I
answer.
really didn't like it.
Okay. That's fair. I'm
Woo!
in case folks are wondering, I'm fine with black licorice. It's great.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We dislike different things.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't
Okay.
dislike strawberries. I think they're delightful.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Continue, please.
Okay. The last one.
Okay.
You've made it through a number of these. Now it's time for this one. It's a little call out to the hometown, but it will make sense whether you're from Portland or not. Okay? Are you
Okay.
ready?
Oh, I don't know. Yes.
Nike or Adidas?
What if I just want to answer in order to be contrary?
You can say Puma,
No, I'll say
Under
let's.
Armour.
I'm not a sneaker person. I love shoes. I love boots, especially. I'm not a huge. So
Then
I
just pick
like
one.
I like Adidas better, but I have Nikes.
Okay. For folks who don't understand the Portland context, maybe you're not here. Nike is obviously headquartered in the area, but folks may not know that the North American headquarters of Adidas is also located in Portland. So
I
it's
I do like Puma better than either of those two, though.
I like Puma's retro stuff. They do a really good job. And
Oh wait,
you know the story
Nike.
between
Yes,
Adidas and Puma. Yeah. Okay.
Nike owns
Converse.
Nike owns Converse, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a very complicated question, even for me who doesn't care. God, now they didn't found Converse,
No, they
but
purchased
they
Converse.
acquired them.
Yep. Yep.
So my answer is Converse.
Okay. Cool. Good answer. That answer was not only inspired by
Fair.
the companies being headquartered here, but we noticed that the story of the Michael Jordan brand, Air Jordan brand, is now available on Amazon Prime for those of you who subscribe to that service. So that might be something we watch this weekend.
I'm kind of hoping we might watch it this evening.
It has the Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, but also Jason Bateman. I'm a huge Jason Bateman fan.
It has a bunch of
Viola Davis.
white dudes that you like.
Viola Davis is in it, who is not a white dude.
She is not, and I like her.
But yeah, as history would have it, it was a bunch of white dudes. So it's historically accurate in that it was a bunch of white dudes.
Something in Portland is a bunch of white dudes?
So weird. I know. What will they think of next? Cool. So that's it. That's Nike and Adidas, and we may have covered a little bit of what you're watching, but the other thing you seem to be super psyched about lately is Silo. How's Silo going?
I felt like this most recent episode was a bridge episode where they're just trying to so there was not, they made it full of action, but it was like, it didn't propel the story along as far as the previous episodes had done. So I enjoyed it, but I look forward to some more happening. Can I talk about, you can edit this out if you want to, but we got 2 comments on a Silo post. One of them was homophobic and one of them was sexist. And I was confused. I said, I love that there's a woman in there with a wrench cranking things around. And then, suddenly it got homophobic and sexist. And she's not even gay.
Wait, on YouTube? That's so weird.
Yeah, and I was disappointed.
Well, I have a positive for that later in the show once we get to production. Okay. Yes, that was negative, but there is a way to approach that from a more positive angle, or just like it's a positive reference point in one very minuscule way. Let me clarify that. We do not want more of those comments.
No.
If you feel like commenting that way, they're just going to get deleted.
Go away.
Because we have no obligation to keep your comment up there if you're being an asshole. So don't waste your time. What I was going to say about Silo this time is Bridge episode, yes. Character development as well.
Yes.
Like we're introduced to a couple new characters where there's an increase in the depth of like what we understand about the mayor or the acting sheriff or like all those people. And then they introduce some new characters like, like what would you call him? A what is the word I'm looking for? He's not a
The foreman, the
no
boss dude,
the younger kid who's
the
like
shadow,
he's an
his
apprentice. He's an
apprentice.
apprentice is what I was trying to think of.
We
So
did
yeah,
meet him before, but they
but
they threw a big party for him when he became her apprentice.
right, but they really deepened his character
Yes.
through this episode. So I get the feeling they're just trying to build a richer tapestry at this point, but it did feel very much like a bridge episode to further detail. So if you don't have time to get to it this week, you're not missing anything big, I don't think.
I kind of feel like I would have enjoyed watching it right before an actiony episode.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
kind of wondering if we stack our weeks together and see. Anyway, that's my
Cool.
television watching philosophy. Maybe we stack our things together. Who knows?
Anything else on what we're watching that you wanted to discuss?
Not that I can think of at this moment.
Okay, cool.
Strangely, normally TV is at the forefront of things I'm thinking about.
She's a little stressed. Folks.
I'm a little stressed right now.
Cool. So, what are you going to watch on the flight?
We're going to have to talk about that. What if John Wick 3 is available on the flight?
4? You can
For me
watch
to
John
watch.
Wick 3. I don't care. If you want to watch John Wick 4, I'm going to be a little
shit.
upset.
Okay. Well,
Watch
then
John
that
Wick
answers-
3 to your heart's content. I don't
I
care.
forgot how many movies there were.
Yeah.
So that answers that question because I would rather watch it with you, but if you didn't care. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to watch. I'm going to see what my options are. I'm going to download some content because it's a 10-hour
Nice.
flight.
Yep.
So I'll download some content so I have some favorites to watch. But
You've got a BDJ book to read.
I do. I have two. I have two
Rick,
BDJ
you got a
books.
Rick Rubin.
I have a
book
Rick
to
Rubin book
read.
to read. My Rick Rubin book is it's made of real book.
Put it on your Kindle.
I should.
Yeah.
I also have a tiki cocktail book to read.
Yep.
That's on my Kindle already. I put it there.
Yep. So there you
So
go.
I have some good reading to do, but I will wind up. I mean, I'll get tired and I'll watch content.
Sure. Cool. All right. Any other production notes you wanted to wedge in
Nope.
beyond the comments?
Oh, wait. I had something.
Okay.
What was it? Oh, yes. It was regarding. So we're going to have to record the next production episode, like right before it gets released. I'm thinking Sunday when I get home from my trip, as long as I'm not super delayed, we should record the Cami's hella jet lagged and travel tired episode.
That'd be great. Maybe we need to do that live.
I think that would be really fun.
Just so you can't get away from it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that anyway, that's my one production note is I think that'd be I think that would be really fun and entertaining.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, we can plan on doing that.
Okay.
And we don't have to do it live. We can record it. That's fine. Because I worry about live, you really need to be on your game. And if you're like...
But like, is there a way we could I'm not a live edited episode, but could we like host there's no way to let people watch this while we're recording.
Yes, there is.
We could let people watch it while we're recording if we wanted to, and then we can just do the normal edited video. But anyway, I'll let you think on that, but I just think it'd be fun for me to record the episode, like get me home from the airport, stick my headphones on me, stick me in front of my recording station, and just go.
Cool. Let's think about it. I'll put some thought to it.
Okay.
We can... yeah. I'm like, we can do part of it in the car when we're driving back.
That's great. I love it. You can use our very advanced camera technology to record me as you're picking me up.
Yeah.
and then we can start the interview. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, now it's time for stats, where we give you the inside scoop on what we're seeing statistics wise. I think, and Cami and I are huge proponents of celebrating the small wins, or as Mitch Doherty likes to call them, the mildly interesting wins. These are
It's a little
stats
too
from
on
both
brand.
from our podcast, audio only, but also our YouTube. I think the big news on the audio podcast is we hit the 1,000 download mark. Yay! Which isn't a ton, but it's great for no
It's a
longer than
thousand
we've
more than
been.
we had when we started.
It's 1,000 more than we had in February. So that's good news. 1,000 downloads. If you prefer to listen to this as a podcast, there's both podcast options on YouTube that you can subscribe to, but we will also put a link in the show notes for if you have another podcast service that you prefer. And we're on all the podcasty platform things. So that's the big news. 1,000 people. Audience size is about 50 currently. And we'll just keep, you may be listening to the podcast right now, and you may be one of those 1,000 downloads. So
Thank you.
thank you for subscribing and downloading and listening, and would love to hear your feedback. And we have a service called Pod Inbox for that, if you want to leave us like a voicemail and tell us about what you think about the episode.
Cool.
Okay. On the YouTube side of things, we're at 228 subscribers, so not huge subscriber growth. We've seen, it's been really interesting. It's kind of doing this: one person subscribes, two people unsubscribe, one person subscribe. And so it's been like bouncing back and forth between those things, which has been interesting to watch. And a little like, it's like, well, maybe we're hitting that point where it plateaus. But the interesting thing is the views are definitely increasing month over month, which is great. So, I'm always looking for stats that just kind of energize me or reinforce that this is something that's entertaining to people. And so watching those stats go up is helpful. And then the other positive thing I wanted to mention, despite the spammy or negative comments, we're also seeing more engagement across the board with positive comments. So we are seeing folks start to engage on shorts, providing comments, replying to comments, those kind of things, which is great, because the thing that's most important to us is that you feel like this is content that is engaging, that you can take part in. That's why we run the production meetings. So, this is as much your show as it is ours. So it's great to see people starting to comment there. Obviously, folks finding us who don't know us personally, but are paying attention to the content. So I think that's a really positive sign, and something I'm hoping we can continue to build over time, because even if we capped out at like 228 subscribers, if all 228 were super engaged and enjoying the show, that'd be more than enough people for me to find this worthwhile. So that's that. In terms of views, pretty much the same as they've been. We're at like 39,600 views over the last 28 days, 310 watch hours over the last 28 days. And, we just kind of keep chunking stuff up and sending stuff out and sending shorts and all those kind of things. I did want to tell you, I was going to look just to see lifetime. So over the lifetime of the channel, we've had 84,000 views. So we're inching ever closer to 100,000 views, which I think is another important milestone for us. And we've had 696 watch hours over that time. So that's kind of where we're sitting these days. I think I'll report more of those kind of lifetime metrics, because those can sometimes be easier to understand than the floating kind of 28-day window. So
the floating 28-day window. I mean, I get it, but I'm still like,
because like yesterday it was like 42,000 watch hours, and so today it's only 39,000 watch hours. So like it's a moving target, which I understand. Okay, cool. So those are the stats. If you have questions about any of the other stats or anything
do we not
like that,
care
please
about the
comment.
5 new followers on Instagram?
Oh,
You
so what
forgot
are
to
our
ask
Instagram?
me for the Instagram. We have 208 followers on Instagram.
Nice. That's more
It's the
than
one
200.
stat that I'm responsible for.
Good job. It's the one audience.
Well,
Cami
I'm
is in
responsible for
charge.
reporting it.
She's in charge of growing that audience too. So if you
I'm
like
not.
Cami and you like the Instagram, you might want to follow Mildly Interesting People, all one word, on the gram or the IG or whatever the kids are calling it these days.
Also, I'm always afraid of posting too much content on the Mildly Interesting People. I don't want to like bombard people. So if people do like the content on Mildly Interesting Instagram, I'm happy to post more.
Cool. Yeah. Looking forward to
Just
your
saying.
feedback there. Either comment on the Instagram or feel free to comment here. I think we always link up the Instagram account too, so that's available down below. Cami is out of tea. I'm out of content. You're out of time. This has been the Mildly Interesting People production meeting. We appreciate you showing up and look forward to sharing stuff with you every week. Again, if you have feedback, we'd love to hear it. Please feel free to comment below. If you'd like to get a little ping when this posts every Tuesday, then go ahead and subscribe, but don't feel obligated. Honestly, more interested in your comments and engagement. So love all of our subscribers dearly. Glad to have you here, but please don't ever feel obligated to subscribe. As always, appreciate having you here, and we will see you at the next production meeting.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.